What's up, Fight Fam? And welcome to Boxing Bros. I believe this is like episode 34, whatever, but who cares? There's only one Tyson Fury. I'm Kaden, and I'm here with my boxing bros and my boxing cousins. I'll let them introduce themselves.
What's good? This is G.
TV, baby.
Complex Gent, the one and only.
All right, I'm going to turn it over to my man Complex for a second.
Look, man, you guys know I'm a Wilder super fan. I'm team number one on the Bomb Squad. In fact, it's still Team Bomb Squad, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
It's still Deontay Wilder, you know what I'm saying? We ain't done yet. And, look.
I respect that.
Look, what can you say? It was a hell of a fight. That's what I say. He's a hell of a fighter. Respect to Tyson Fury. Honestly, I got to give him props because I didn't expect that. Of course, I was rooting for Wilder, but man, Wilder took a real beating that fight. But you got to give props to Tyson Fury, man. You know, there's only one Tyson Fury, the Gypsy King. Mad respect because Wilder looked the part. He looked ready. He's been killing everybody. He came into the fight, no excuses. Tyson Fury came in. There was a lot of comments about his weight. Did he come in too heavy? The cut over his eye. You know, is he really ready? The knockdowns from the last fight. New trainer. Is he really confident? But when you call your shot and you hit it, you got to give the man respect. Big props to Tyson Fury. He's the new champion. The king is dead. Long live the king. However, I just want to say for myself, I'm still a Deontay Wilder fan. Yes, that was a bad loss, but after 42 wins, one draw, and your first loss, I gotta clap it up for him, man. Yo, respect to Deontay Wilder. That man was a warrior. He was ready to go out on the shield. He didn't want to end the fight. His trainers threw in the fight. But, Wilder's come a long way when you look at his career. And for me, I like to give people roses when they're alive. So from me as a Bomb Squad member to Deontay Wilder, here are your flowers, dog. Here are your flowers, dog. Give flowers to people when they're alive, man. The man deserves it, dog. Give the man his respect.
I respect
Yes, he lost, but yo, Wilder's a hell of a champion. He was a hell of a champion. He represented himself. He represented America. He represented Black America. The man was unapologetic.
He represented your Black America.
Oh, wait, I forgot. I'm in Boxing Bros UK, right? Boxing Bros UK. All the UK stands over here. I forgot. Boxing Bros.
Hey, listen, I'll just say this. I don't know about everybody else here, but I was born in Boston Medical Hospital. Born and raised in Boston. So I am USA, but I'm no dummy. And Wilder is not that guy. He doesn't represent Black America. In fact, if there was a fighter who was going to fight for Black people that I had to pick, he is from the UK, but go ahead.
These days, Boxing Bros UK, dog. I can't with these guys every week.
He's a dosser.
Yo, we're in Manchester, England, man. Bring out the fish and chips, dog, because these dudes are about to.
Manchester over here.
You know, Manchester, England. But look, anyways.
Deontay Wilder's a proper wanker.
No, These dudes, man, I walked into London or something. I didn't even know where I am.
You teleported
to London.
I'm sorry, man.
Yo, my thing is this. If Wilder won, I was going to come and do the same thing, but even after he lost, I'm still going to give him his flowers because you know what? Even if this is it for Wilder, it was a hell of a run. I'm a fan of Wilder. I'm always going to be a fan of his. I hope he comes back. I believe he has the heart of a champion, and I think he can do it. You know, will he come back? We'll see. But for right now, hell of a fight champion. You did well. Rest up, and let's see what happens next. But for Wilder, you're getting your flowers when you're alive because you deserve it. You've done a hell of a job. Good job, champion. Tyson Fury, respect.
I respect that. Ned, what you got?
I don't respect that at all. Listen, when I came in here, I was like, yo, Tyson Fury's gonna knock that man out. Round 2, round 3, round 4, round 5, round 6.
Nah, you said round 2. And then I said, well, what happens if he doesn't knock him out round 2? And then what did you say?
Go round 3, yo. Go down round 3.
And then what did it happen?
Round 5, right?
No, round 3. He dropped him.
Round 3?
Yeah.
He dropped him round 3. Let's go. But yo, I don't got no remorse for these Wilder fans. You know why? Because they was
call them their proper name. Wildettes.
Wildettes. I ain't got no remorse for these Wildettes, yo. You gonna need Kleenex with them flowers, man. Listen.
You UK dudes are so disrespectful,
Wilder,
dog. Respect America.
He was talking all that beef, yo, and I was just like, it's cool, man. It's good. It's good. It's
No.
good.
What was he talking? I'm anointed by God.
Anointed by God.
They gotta be perfect for 36 minutes. I only gotta be perfect for 2 seconds.
2 seconds.
No, there's another one. Speak it, believe it, deceive it.
Yo, last night, the Wilders got so delusional, yo, they kept seeing Wilder meditating. It was like, yo, he's gonna visualize taking Fury's head off.
He's
yo.
angry. He's angry.
Yo, that's the bronze bomber right there. I'm like, yo, these
Forgetting
guys.
that bronze means third place, but go ahead.
Thank you.
Yo.
Yo, but man, listen, my man Fury talked that talk, he walked that walk, and he made that man Wilder eat Jello for a month, yo. Let's go. That man's Joe
Give me
Wilder.
some, man.
Let's go.
What he eating? What he eating?
He eating Jello, pudding, and mashed
Get the
potatoes.
pudding pop, you see?
Put your man on a liquid diet.
Hey yo, he said he didn't see Wilder. He said this. Remember, he said this. He said, G said, he didn't see Wilder doing the stanky leg in the first fight. I saw that. He said he didn't see that. But I know for damn sure he saw it the last night. I know for damn sure he saw that last night. Anyways, G, what you got?
Hey, man. All right. Salute to Tyson Fury. He shocked the world. He shocked me. And salute to Kaden over here because clearly Kaden wasn't shocked. I can look at it from two sides. So first, I'm gonna talk the positives about Deontay Wilder, right? I might echo some of what Complex was saying. Wilder had an excellent run. Wilder, for me, right, literally brought back like the excitement in the heavyweight division. I know a lot of people say it was Anthony Joshua, but I'm the type of person, for you to be great, you need that antagonist. Wilder provided that for the storyline, the narrative for the heavyweight division to keep the energy going. So because of that, I was like, you know what, Wilder's my dude. The rivalry, US versus UK, like it was like everything that we could like we wanted from the heavyweight division, he provided, right? But now, during this fight though, I honestly going in there, I was like, he's gonna knock him out. Fury's food, this, that, and the third, it's over. I was so convinced that, you know, my boxing bros record was gonna be wiped clean.
Was never gonna happen, by the way. I don't know why you.
I was like,
in
my mind, I was like, through the blood of Tyson Fury, my record's gonna be 1-0. You know what I mean? I get a clean reset. Sadly, I was mistaken, but I will say this. Now, this is where I have to be really honest with myself with Wilder. I don't understand how Tyson Fury pretty much expressed his entire strategy to you. Like, told you the game plan. You know, linked up with pretty much the people that built Klitschko. So you knew the same strategy was going to be implemented. And you went in there and you had no answers for it at all. It was kind of like, to me, it was an eye-opener, right? And I do respect Wilder for not coming up with excuses, even though it seemed like he was about to, but then he caught himself at the end. So salute to Wilder for maintaining his, poker face at the end and giving Tyson Fury that credit. But he took a lot of punishment, man. And I'm being honest, I got issues with his corner. And low key, I honestly wished like Tyson Fury did knock him out in round 2. And it sounds crazy, but yeah, we could say, yo, you know what? Deontay Wilder was a warrior in that ring. You know, he refused to take this L. He was willing to fight to the bitter end. But all of those punches, that's just like long-term punishment that could destroy a man's career.
Yeah.
And especially he's 34.
Yeah.
Like, at that age, you don't need that, man. Like, I wish Tyson Fury had one hit of power where he could just lay them out round 2. So that way Wilder could, come back for the rematch and learn from his mistake. But this is like the type of punishment he took. I think his jaw is even broken. Like his jaw, his eardrum. There's a number of things that I'm like, I don't know, man. Like, I still, because, I have hope now because of the AJ Ruiz experience that, hey, anything's possible. But it's still, it's hope. It's like faith. But it's like, I don't know. So I'm just hoping that Wilder heals up, he recovers. I'm hoping this sounds messed up, but I hope he gets either he leaves his team or he gets new trainers. Like, he has to do something, but I don't even think he should do the immediate rematch. I don't think he can physically. It's a lot of things that it's like, it just doesn't look good for Wilder. So, but regardless of all of that, salute to Wilder. Like, he's kept me entertained in the heavyweight division. For the longest, it's been like, the welterweights holding it down. Then AJ and Wilder sprung up, and even Tyson Fury sprung up. These characters, brought back the heavyweight division. So if this is Wilder's last performance, which I doubt, but let's just say if this is his last like top elite level performance, then I'm sad we didn't get to see the huge mega fight between Wilder and AJ, but I'm okay with what Wilder has come from to where he's ended. He's provided for his family, his team. So salute to Wilder, like Conflict Gentleman has said.
So, before I do my thing, I want to say this. As a man, I respect Deontay Wilder. You have to have the courage to get in the ropes, to put yourself out there in front of millions of people. And last night was a big event. I don't know what the numbers are, but I'm expecting that it'll be 1 million or at least close to it. Maybe it will exceed. It was one of those events where I don't know what the numbers are going to be like, but I do expect that it will be a successful fight in that both fighters deserve credit for that. The other thing I would like to say is Deontay Wilder showed tremendous heart in the fight. He took a beating, probably too much of a beating, and I'm not trying to kick a man while he's down. Everything I'm about to say is not directed at Deontay Wilder, the man. It's directed at the Deontay Wilder fans, the stands, who I've been debating with and been arguing with since like 2015 now, when he got the belt from Bermane Stavern. My criticisms of Deontay Wilder didn't start when Anthony Joshua beat Vladimir Klitschko. I've been pointing out these flaws in Wilder's game since 2015. So now I'm just going to dive into a few things because I wrote this down because I really couldn't sleep last night because I expected Fury to win, but I didn't expect to see it happen like that. And even, I told G before the fight at the gym, and he can co-sign, I said, we're going to see somewhat of a Vladimir Klitschko, Lennox Lewis type of fight where he's going to not take a step back. He's going to come with a stiff jab, get him against the rope, unload power shots, and before Wilder can return fire, he's going to wrap him up and put his weight on him. I told G that. That's what he did. But I didn't think he would get him out by the 7th round. I thought maybe late rounds, maybe. But I didn't think we would see Wilder looking the way he looks. So now I'm just going to dive into what I have to say. The hardest puncher in boxing history is not Deontay Wilder. Mm-hmm. Part of why he got a down south Alabama ass whooping is because he believed his own hype. He believed that all he needed was to land that one punch because it's the greatest punch in boxing history. Stop it. It is not. His team threw in the towel. So the era of invincibility is gone from Deontay Wilder. His whole thing was he was indestructible. Everyone that's ever stepped in the ring with him kissed the canvas until they didn't. And yeah, he knocked Fury down in the first fight, but he didn't knock him down in the second fight. And I told people, and I told G this, and he can co-sign if he's being honest, I don't know. This is going to be like Andre Ward versus Kovalev, where Kovalev put Andre Ward down in the first fight, and it was a close first fight. But after that, Ward was able to analyze, figure out Kovalev, go in there in the second fight, and actually stop him. And that's exactly what happened. So now, with that being said, there's a blueprint. There was a blueprint on how to beat Kovalev because after Ward beat Kovalev, Alvarez, yeah, he went on to beat him, and then Canelo Alvarez went on to beat him. So now there's a blueprint for Wilder. So people know now, don't let him get leverage on that right hand. He steps backwards. That's what people keep talking like, oh, you can't go forward on Wilder. To land the right hand, he actually steps backwards so he can get the distance he needs to get it off, and Fury never gave it to him. That's why even when he landed those right hands on Fury, he ate him. Because he never was able to get that leverage in the shot that he normally would get when people try to run away from him. And what you're going to see now is fighters chomping at the bit to just go directly at him. They're going to go directly at Wilder, and now Wilder's going to have to figure out ways to deal with pressure. All right, he turned down the $120 million contract with DAZN. Now Wilder's a cautionary tale. He decided to bet on himself. He decided to take the Floyd Mayweather route and forgot that Floyd Mayweather's career was based on hit and not get hit. Hit and not get hit. His career was based on get hit until you land the right hand. He never thought in his wildest dreams that someone would be able to knock him out, which I don't know why, but he found out no one's invincible.
Especially by pillow fists.
Oh no, yeah, we get that. Tyson Fury had more fans at the weigh-in and at the fight than Deontay Wilder. So not only did he turn down that money, but he didn't prove he was a draw, people. He didn't prove he was a draw this fight. Tyson Fury proved, like he said, I bought him the big-time boxing because all I heard was cheers for Fury. People yelling and screaming for Fury. I didn't hear much for Wilder at the weigh-in and at the fight. Oh, yeah, so let's get to that. They have to be perfect for 36 minutes. I only have to be perfect for 2 seconds was Deontay Wilder's quote. Whoa, Wilder, riddle me this. Your fight with Fury only went 21 minutes. So what happened to that 36 minutes? You see the flaw in your logic, bro? You never thought that Fury could be perfect for them 2 seconds, did you? You never thought that. That shot that put you on the floor and sit you in the stinky leg heaven, right? Again, by the way, because it happened in the first fight and I saw it. All right. So, anointed by God. He was anointed by God. What happened to the right hand of God? You landed it. You landed it multiple times. In the second round, I actually scored that round for Deontay Wilder.
I did too.
For the right hands he landed.
I did too.
And I couldn't believe how well Fury took him from the greatest puncher in boxing history. I'm saying it takes more than one trick to beat elite level fighters. Deontay Wilder said Tyson Fury had pillow fists. Now you got the beating of your life in one of the worst beatings I've seen in heavyweight boxing in years by a man you said had pillow fists.
That's the bloodiest pillow fight I've ever seen.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. And lastly, he couldn't quit. Now, I give him credit. He showed heart, but he couldn't quit. Because that's what he criticized Anthony Joshua for. That's what he kept saying, oh, he quit. He's a coward. He quit. But Joshua dropped Ruiz in his fight. You didn't drop Fury this fight. And when Joshua lost, he didn't have blood coming out his ears, coming out his mouth, coming out his eyes. Hell, there probably was blood coming out of everywhere. The way it was looking for Deontay.
Huh? Sound like Trump now. The eyes and nose and other places.
That was a Trump kind of. But all that aside, I say this. Deontay Wilder, my beef has always been, he doesn't believe he needs to learn traditional tactics and skills of boxing. He always believed his right hand was going to get him out of trouble. And I always said to everyone since 2015, if he doesn't improve, he'll never beat the top level competition. He has an elite right hand. Is it the greatest in boxing history? I don't believe so. But it's good enough to hurt you and get you out of there. But when that's the only punch you throw, some fighters are going to be able to take that away from you. Some fighters are going to be able to neutralize that. And what happens when you're fighting someone who can neutralize that right hand and can hurt you? You saw last night, you get beat badly. So, I hope that Deontay Wilder can recover, because as much slack as I give Deontay Wilder, boxing is better with him in it. But I hope this humbles those fans, those people who just are delusional with this. If you a fan, be a fan, but don't make this guy something he's not. Anointed by God, hardest puncher, could beat Mike Tyson in his prime. He couldn't beat Tyson Fury.
Why is still looking at me?
He couldn't.
I'm just saying. That didn't hit home. Would you? Never mind.
I'm writing a response. Bro.
Yeah, go ahead. No, I was going to actually give you and everyone a chance to respond, but I'm saying this. Isn't this ironic? Deontay Wilder said he can beat Mike Tyson in his prime. Mike Tyson was honored at the fight for the man who was named after him, and is the first one to beat Deontay Wilder, take the title from Deontay Wilder, while Mike Tyson sat ringside cheering for Tyson
can't make
Fury.
This up. You can't make this up. Boxing really is a movie.
That's crazy, right?
Like Don King said, only in America. Only in
That's
America.
crazy.
That's
But
Look, Kaden, look, I'm glad you got your soliloquy off. And that was really good. I'm sure you've been waiting 5 years to read that. I know you said you wrote it last night, but I feel like you had a draft of that saved somewhere. Like you said, since 2015, people have been calling for Wilder's downfall, dog. So I love that all the Wilder haters are out in full force today. They're like, I told you. Bro, y'all been saying this for 5 years. If he got this far after 5 years, that's pretty damn good. Look, you want to say that Wilder isn't the biggest puncher in history, or he has this big one-punch power, right? That one-punch power took Wilder from being a truck driver in Alabama to the Olympics, to the World Championship, to being champion for 5 years. If you told me as a 20-year-old kid, I'm going to give you one tool, and it's going to take you through your career, and it's going to take you this far and make you millions of dollars, I would take that in a heartbeat. How many guys, we like to talk about boxing skills, and I agree. Look, there are certain things to the sweet science that you need to know. But at the same time, there are things that go against the grain. There are things that can't be explained. And that's honestly what makes the sport so beautiful. Because yes, technically, there are guys who know how to punch and jab and hook and dip and duck. But at the same time, there's a guy who can end your life with one punch, even with all of that. And that's what Wilder was. That's the great thing about boxing, is that it's not tennis. It's not about points, style, whatever. At the end of the day, if I finish you, I win the fight. And Wilder did that 42 times. So I gotta give respect to Wilder for that. There's guys who would kill heavyweights who've been training their whole lives since 8 years old, who know how to punch and learned all the techniques, and they haven't had half the success of Wilder. So Wilder's one punch, for whatever it is, it's something special. Can it be explained? Maybe not. But it took him this far, and if this is where it took him, that's pretty dang good. And another thing, people want to talk about Wilder's, the fans at the thing. Bro, if Fury's such a draw, his fights didn't sell when he was the headliner. Nobody came over from the UK, so they didn't come to see Fury. They came to see Wilder. The UK fans flew to see Wilder because they wanted to see Wilder versus Fury. They didn't fly to see him versus Otto Wallin. If that was the case, why didn't they pack out the Wallin fight? Why didn't they pack out the Schwartz fight? They didn't even put those fights on. He never carried a pay-per-view on his own in America, in the UK, but those never sold out. You couldn't rub two Fury fans together after he beat Klitschko. There was nobody talking about Fury after Klitschko. It wasn't until he fought Wilder. So if anything, Wilder brought Fury back to big-time boxing. Wilder blessed him with an opportunity. And honestly, Fury should thank Wilder for giving him that opportunity. And Wilder's a true champion because Wilder said, I'm going to give you that opportunity, and I'm going to make this fight happen. I'm going to make it 50-50. So Wilder has the heart of a champion. Said, look, I'm willing to take this fight, and I'm willing to give you even the rematch. He said, look, 50-50, let's do it. And it made it fair that the winner of this fight, the next one, the winner gets 60-40. That's when you want to make a fight. That's what you do. That you're not a diva like, no, well, I'm the bigger name, so it's this or that, it's this or the high road. When you say I want to make the fight, you bet on yourself. Lastly, Floyd got booed at his own weigh-in when he fought Ricky Hatton. Floyd got booed when he fought Canelo. Floyd got booed when he fought Pacquiao. So it's not just about, oh, well, he got booed at the weigh-ins or whatever. When they pay to see you, they're paying whether they see you win or lose. Wilder still got paid. And then everybody wants to bring up the DAZN deal, and maybe we could talk about it at length later. But the DAZN deal on its face at the time was still bad, and in hindsight, it was even worse. Because when you look at it, When was Wilder supposed to fight Joshua? I mean, if he signed that deal, Joshua would have ended up losing to Ruiz. Then he would have to wait. Then this year, Joshua still has 2 mandatory defenses. So when would Wilder be sitting on DAZN? We saw the biggest hype for this fight on 2 networks, Fox and ESPN. Super Bowl commercials. When was the last time you saw any DAZN fight promoted that way? Wilder, even in a loss, gained from this fight because his brand exposure, people saw him go out, and he took a loss, but people know who Wilder is. Much more eyes saw Wilder, and even in this loss, he's going to grow from it. Where his career goes from here, I don't know. But respect to Wilder for what he's done so far. Respect for him for taking the rematch when he could have easily ducked and dodged Fury and said, he got his chance and I'm going to give somebody else a chance. Wilder is a true champion. Wilder came out. Respect to him.
All right, so it seems like you've been waiting 5 years to tell that nonsense, but as I always do, here comes the hammer. All right, praying for Wilder's downfall. While this man was rooting for Amir Khan telling me he was the greatest thing since sliced bread, and while this man was rooting for Seth Mitchell, I actually was the one saying Deontay Wilder would be one of the elite heavyweights. So it's funny the bandwagoners here want to tell me about Deontay Wilder. He picked Bermane Stiverne to beat Deontay Wilder in 2015. I don't know who he picked. I don't know who he picked. But all I know is I knew this man since in 2015, and I never heard him say Wilder's name one time. And I didn't hear him say Wilder's name one time.
I was in Ireland in 2015.
Okay,
it was just like him.
Well, that's probably why I didn't hear his name one time. But still, it's not a lie. I ain't hear him say his name one time. Okay, all right. So I was the one saying Wilder had potential, but he needed to get better. I didn't pick Wilder to lose every fight. He picked Bermane Stiverne to beat Wilder, though. We know that. We done already pulled that up.
But to be fair, that was a Haitian pride, right?
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
It don't matter.
Come on, man.
We can make excuses, right? But the bottom line is, here he sits today in 2020 as this Wilder representative when he wasn't with Wilder from the beginning. He hopped on a bandwagon after he beat his man. So the man beat the man, and we got Malik Scott here in the building, everybody. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, bro, when you bring it to when you come for the throne, you best not miss. All right, anyway, right? So you wave the white flag, but I'm colorblind. All right, yo, listen, right? Nah, I'm good. You my man. All right, so I said I respect Wilder as a man already. You're bringing up him being a truck driver and him getting to this pinnacle. I said this a long time ago. Correct me if I'm wrong. Did I not say I respect Wilder as a man? Did I not say he has a great story? Did I not say I love the way he picked Brazil up after he knocked him out? Because that was the one fight where I felt like Wilder really had bad blood and he really could have crapped on him. But instead of doing that, he picked him up and he didn't just bury him. He could have threw the dirt on him, but he didn't do that. I already said I respect Wilder as a man. In fact, I told Wilder before I went on the soliloquy that this wasn't really about him. This was about the debates that I had with his fans for years. Still, as a man, I respect Wilder. If I saw Wilder today, I'd give him nothing but love. I don't hate Deontay Wilder. I hate his fake, fair weather fans. That's what I hate. I'm glad you came with them roses. But you didn't come with that money when he fought Luis Ortiz too. But I'm gonna leave that alone. So how about this, right? So how about this? Now, since we go, I told you when you come for the throne, you best not miss.
I called for Wilder to beat Ortiz.
Did you pay for the fight?
Did I pay? I was in a hotel in Atlanta, so I couldn't pay for the fight.
So you couldn't pay for the fight.
I was in the club.
You couldn't pay for the fight.
I couldn't.
All right, cool. Moving on. Like I said. Okay, let me check this, because like I said, I got to crush all the nonsense around here. All right, Wilder, his power, this devastating power, I'd rather have that too. How devastating is Wilder's power, really? You know what Deontay Wilder is? He's a glorified Derek Chisora, right? And I'm going to tell you why. Deontay Wilder's record is 42 wins, 1 brutal defeat after he got his ass whooped last night, and 1 draw, right? Derek Chisora, all I'm calling is facts right here. Not opinions or whatever, straight facts. So Derek Chisora is 32-9, right? But you got to look at the records. So Derek Chisora, like I said, he fought Tyson Fury twice. He fought Vitaly Klitschko. He fought David Haye. He fought Kubrat Pulev. He fought Dillian White twice. He fought Ajit Caballo. He fought Robert Helenius, right? You notice all those names I named? Wilder only fought him once, right? Wilder only fought him once. And guess what? Tyson Fury, the guy who beat Derek Chisora twice, he really beat Deontay Wilder twice too. So just imagine if Deontay Wilder would have fought Vitaly Klitschko or Vladimir Klitschko when Derek Chisora did, L. If he would have fought David Haye, look at the sparring sessions between Deontay Wilder and David Haye when that was taking place, getting beat and boxed all around the ring, L. If he would have fought Kubrat Pulev, if he fight Kubrat Pulev today, he'd lose, L. Dillian White, Dillian White, like I said, Dillian White twice. Derek Chisora lost to Dillian White twice. The WBC has been protecting Deontay Wilder from Dillian White since Dillian White became a contender with him. They've been putting out fake dirty samples and all types of stuff. Yo, see, I let him rock. I let him rock because I never worry about what he says. Okay, right? So check this out. Wilder didn't fight any of the elite competition. So how can you say his right hand is so devastating? We never seen him hit Vladimir Klitschko with a right hand. But by the way, I've seen Anthony Joshua hit Vladimir Klitschko with a right hand. We never seen him hit Vitaly Klitschko with a right hand. We never seen him hit David Haye with a right hand. We never seen him hit Kubrat Pulev with a right hand. We never seen him hit Dillian White with a right hand. We never seen him hit any fighter who's actually defended the title one time with a right hand and knock him out. Ever. In his entire career, Deontay Wilder's never hit a man with at least one title defense and knocked him out. In fact, the first time he fought a champion who's had at least one title defense, he got his ass stopped in the 7th round. The most devastating puncher in boxing history, missed me with that. The great tool, the great equalizer, missed me with that. Okay, so let's move on. Wilder never sold. Wilder, he's giving, now he says, oh, when Fury fought Otto Wallin and when Fury fought Tom Schwartz, where was the crowd? Where was the crowd? Ironically, the man from the UK still had better showings in America than Deontay Wilder himself, the American heavyweight champion. Said, oh, the Brits didn't come. Yeah, they didn't travel in droves to see him fight Schwartz and Wallin, but to give Wilder the credit? When has Wilder sold out any arena? Not until last night. In fact, I got the numbers. Well, see, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. Like, we want to talk about, like, being opinions. I got the facts right here.
This is 5 years of research, guys. So I got to give him credit. He's been waiting for this day. He's been waiting for this day.
Listen, you see, this is what you do when you got that fire on your ass. Right? Yo, so listen.
Keep going, dog.
When Wilder fought Brazil, right, in 2019, the maximum capacity for the Barclays Center is 16,000. The attendance was 13,181. That's not a sellout. So what are we talking about? This is his country, by the way. This is the country with a population of, I think, like, what we got, over 400 million people here.
360 million.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, listen, I don't know when the last time you looked at those stats, but I think it's over 400 million now. And I'm just saying this, over 400 million people here, and only 13,181 thought enough to even attend the Wilder fight in Brooklyn, and I know they gave away tickets for that fight. He's never sold out an arena until last night. Broke the gate, and most of that gate was people from UK. How can you give that credit to Deontay Wilder? Now, I can see if he was known for drawing a crowd, but he's not. So how can you make the argument that, oh, the only reason that the fight was successful last night was because Deontay Wilder was a part of it, the man who never sold out an arena in his life? Come on, man. Well, what are we doing? Like, delusion.
So you're going to give it to Fury, who
they were all Brits. He's from the UK. They were all Brits. They all traveled to sing, there's only one Tyson Fury, and to say, you big dosser, when Deontay Wilder came out. But somehow, Deontay Wilder gets the credit for that? Talk about delusions. Okay, right, so let's move on. All right, I crushed that. All right.
I'll be honest, you didn't crush that, bro. I'll be honest.
Let him rock.
I let you rock with everything.
He's been waiting 5 years for this. This is his moment, guys. Let him go.
No, you can go.
Listen, please. Deontay Wilder couldn't sell out a family cookout. Like, this is what I'm talking about.
You gotta understand. Listen, but this is what I've been saying since, like, the very first Boxing Bros episode. Yes, you're right. When Wilder's facing unknown opposition, yeah, nobody's going to buy tickets to see Wilder knock out a no-name person. But the same applies to Tyson Fury. Hence, Wallin. You know what I'm saying? Nobody wants to see that. But when two top-tier fighters clash, people want to see it. So technically, Complex wasn't wrong in his statement that people came because Fury is fighting Wilder. Because there's a
That's
possibility.
not what he said. Just for correction and clarification purposes, he said the people came to see Wilder. Thank you. He never said the people came to see Fury fight Wilder. So what you said, I agree with. They came to see Fury fight Wilder. He said they came to see Wilder and not Fury. So again, crushed. I said, listen, I do this. So yo, let's go. All right, let's go. Let's go.
a hater
Let's go.
celebration.
Let's go. Yo, tell me when I'm not stating
The
facts.
haters
though.
ball.
How am I hating when I'm just stating
I'm
facts?
just saying, they
So
been waiting for this thing.
everybody who's objective, you know I'm stating facts. He's stating opinion. I'm stating facts. I'm actually the one who's being objective. I'm just not delusional and a fanboy. I didn't bring flowers. In fact, I wore a black pin. This is a black United States pin, all black United States pin, right? And you know why I'm wearing this? Because Deontay Wilder let down Black America. For starters, I never adopted him to represent Black America. But since he decided to represent Black America, I'm ashamed. Okay, so this is me wearing a pin of someone who really represents Black America, Malcolm X. Okay, this is what someone like not that bum, Deontay Wilder. Okay, and so here is another pin. It says, here's another pin. Here's another pin. It says, "I'll try being nicer if you try being smarter." Okay, so that's how I feel about this whole situation, and this is why I'm dressed in all black hoodie, black sweats, black shoes. He's bringing the flowers for the funeral that I'm attending right now. Okay, so yo, let's keep it popping, dog. You know what I'm saying? Now,
I can't make this up. Man.
Now, let's get back to it. Oh, Wilder was so gracious to give Tyson Fury an opportunity, as if he was giving Tyson Fury in his prime the opportunity. In fact, when Tyson Fury was in his prime, he got into the ring with Deontay Wilder, said, "Let's fight next," and Deontay Wilder said, "Well, I'm going to fight my mandatories, but I get to fight my mandatories." I'm not making this up. Look it up. Look it up. Fury was like, "You know we can get around the mandatories." Wilder was like, mandatories. It wasn't until Fury was out of boxing for 3 years, was 400 pounds, okay, abusing his body, doing all types of coke, everything, right? It was public knowledge. Once again, I'm not making this up. Everything I say is fact. Fact check me. Fact check me like I'm a politician on CNN and I'm a Republican. Fact check me like that. And then you'll see everything I'm telling you is the truth, right? So it wasn't until Fury was 400 pounds, inactive for 3 years, abusing his body with all types of drugs. Deontay Wilder gave him a shot when he managed to lose a person. He lost enough weight to be a person. Yo, Tyson Fury lost so much weight, he could fight in them light divisions. He could fight Shakur Stevenson. The weight that Tyson Fury lost could fight Shakur Stevenson. That's how much weight he had to drop. And that's when Wilder said, "Ooh, cherry pick. But guess what? He picked the wrong cherry. And because it was a draw, and we all know Deontay Wilder has this habit of avenging his controversial wins, everybody. He's the only fighter I know to have 2 rematches in fights that he won. So he decided, oh, I beat Bermane Stiverne for the title, and when no one's asking for it, I'm going to fight him again. Oh, I knocked out Luis Ortiz, and though no one's asking for it, I'm going to fight him again.
Please let me respond.
Right? So this is the only guy who avenges his controversial wins, right? So, of course, I'm going to fight Pillow Hand Fury again. I'm going to fight Pillow Fist Fury again and say he beat the blood out you. He said, check this out. G said on Boxing Bros, he said Deontay Wilder by 7th round knockout. He said his record was going to be cleansed by the blood of Fury. Actually, Fury took Wilder out in the 7th round, and Wilder was bleeding from every hole in his body. You know what I'm saying? So come on,
Fury was covered in the blood
thank
of
you.
Wilder.
Yo, so I'm vindicated by the blood of Wilder. Okay, now let's go.
The reason why
Now
Fury's
let's
looking at
go.
because he knows
Now
Wilder's
let's
blood,
go.
dog. He's trying to get
Now let's
anointed,
go.
dog.
Now let's go.
If he knows Wilder's a god,
Fury
dog.
was licking that blood, dog.
He wanted some of that greatness,
blood.
dog.
You know what I'm saying? Fury was like,
That's what gave him the power.
His Blade Part 2, we got the taste for blood. You know what I'm saying? Hey, listen.
That's his PEDs. You're welcome, Fury. You're welcome.
Hey, listen. Now he's anointed. Wilder had whatever. All right. So lastly, no, not lastly, I got 2 more points. Here it is. My second to last point. Complex brought up, oh, people boo Floyd. People boo Floyd. Here's the difference. I ask everyone I know about boxing. See, this is how I know what type of fights are going to be. People usually call me and say, yo, you ordering that Floyd fight? I'd be like, yeah, I'm ordering a Floyd fight. Or people, yo, you ordering that Floyd fight? No one contacted me about this Wilder fight. And I called people and I said, are y'all watching the fight? They're like, what fight? What fight? What fight?
You mean this
those
one?
people? Yes.
This talking about part 2.
Yeah, this
Wilder
one.
Fury 2?
This one, yeah.
Nah, everybody watched that.
No, everybody didn't watch it, bro. Because I'm telling you, I know people.
So
who
your
didn't even
people
know anything
didn't watch
about
it.
it. Yo,
My
bro,
people watched it. His people watched it.
Okay, cool. You do your thing. But once again, like I said, as someone who's actually just been objective the whole time, like I'm not a fair weather Wilder fan because I don't like AJ because the girls like him and because I don't like want to hop on a bandwagon. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not that guy. I'm just calling what I see, right? No one was watching that fight. No one was like, yo, can I come over to watch that fight? It wasn't like that. It wasn't like a Floyd fight. Remember, I'm talking about in comparison to a Floyd fight. Floyd fights are events for real, for real. They don't need all this promotion that they had to do for Wilder and Fury. But here's the difference. He said, oh, they booed Floyd. Floyd is the record holder for the 3 top grossing fights in boxing history. The top grossing fights in boxing history. Floyd, Money, Mayweather. You gonna compare a bum to that? Seriously? Moving on. My last point. Yeah, this is my last point. He said, Complex said, and this is the dumbest thing ever. This is what I mean. Like, you have to understand, bro. Like, I just keep it real. He said the DAZN deal was a mess because there was no telling when Deontay Wilder was going to get to fight Anthony Joshua because even if he signed that deal, he would have lost to Ruiz. Those are his exact words. And he thinks that's a good argument. But I'm going to tell you why that argument is so dumb. Because if he signs that contract, he still gets $120 million. So regardless of when he gets to fight Anthony Joshua, he still gets $120 million. He gets $20 million for the fight with Brazil. And then, yeah, Joshua lost to Ruiz, if that would have been what happened, but he also won. So he would have been fighting him in June, getting $50 million. He would have been fighting him in June, getting $50 million, and then he would have been fighting him again, and he wouldn't have got that brutal beating with the blood coming out. So all I'm saying is, come with some better points, bro.
Hey,
You went through so much. I wish I could.
How
I
about
had the time.
this? I'll say this. Jack Reese, this is your fault. You just let Wilder win part 1. None of this would have happened. Golly.
You see what I'm saying? They still looking for someone to cheat for Wilder. Kenny Bayless tried.
Yo, he definitely
Shout
tried.
out to Kenny Bayless.
Kenny Bayless, you a real one. Kenny Bayless was like, point, deducted. You okay, champ? You okay, champ?
He tried to make it longer. Kenny did everything he could. Now go ahead, whatever. Respond to what you can. I mean,
No, I need to pose this question.
Yeah.
All right, okay then. I hear your passion when it comes to Wilder, but
not when it comes to Wilder, to his fans.
But do you really believe Wilder is a bum?
Yes.
Because
I do.
Walk with me. He still was the WBC champion.
He beat Bermain Stavern. Who is Bermain Stavern? Who did can you? Do me this favor. If you can tell me who Bermain Stavern beat to win that title, I'll say he's not a bum.
I can tell
It
you.
was it Areola?
Chris
right?
Areola.
Yeah, it was Chris Areola. Yeah. So, and it was like a vacancy.
Exactly.
belt.
That's my point. It was
Klitschko-
a trick question.
Vitaly
It was a
Klitschko-
trick question. He didn't beat nobody to win the
I
title.
agree.
It was
No,
a
no,
vacancy.
What are you talking about?
That-
Joshua didn't win a belt from anybody who won the belt anyway.
Except he fought Klitschko and beat
a year
Klitschko.
later.
What I'm saying is
What are you
this,
talking
though.
about?
But like,
Yo, bro,
Can
it's
I
my
just
thing.
finish?
is-
Can I just finish
Go
the
ahead,
question?
go
And
ahead,
then
go ahead.
finish.
All right. Like, because this, from my honest opinion, Wilder may not be the best, but he's still great in his regard, right? He just happened to fight somebody who's better than him, right? So couldn't it just be Tyson Fury got his number as opposed to just determining like, yo, Wilder is a bum?
Okay, let me ask you a question. Let me just address them, and then I'll come back to his question. For one, yes, Joshua won vacant belts. And I didn't give him any props. You're my witness. I called out Charles. We were laughing about the Charles Martin joint, remember? Like, we were like, this wasn't it wasn't until he beat Klitschko. And he didn't just beat Klitschko. He knocked Klitschko out. When I said, okay, he beat a man who reigned for 10 years. He beat a man who is a true champion. I give him that respect. It wasn't until then that I gave Joshua respect, for the record. Now, my question to you is, remove Tyson Fury from the equation. And I'll ask you again. Name to me one champion Deontay Wilder has beaten with at least one title defense.
No one.
Okay, thank you.
but
So that's why
that
he's a
still
bum
doesn't
to
make
me.
him a bum.
Okay.
If Bermane Stiverne had one title defense, if he fought, if the second Areola fight, because they actually fought twice, you remember? They fought for the interim belt, and then Vitaly retired, and then they fought again for the actual belt. If let's say it was the other way around, and they fought for the belt the first time, then he beat Areola the second time for
What's
the belt.
Chris Areola's
Does that
most impressive
change-
win?
does that
What's
change
Chris
anything?
Areola's most impressive win?
It doesn't matter.
No,
but
it
you-
does matter. It does matter. It matters.
Bro, let me
That-
finish my point.
Okay.
You're saying that
Okay.
all he had to do was beat a
Okay.
champion who defended the belt. But if that was the case, that makes no... You're moving the goalposts because you don't want to give Wilder the credit.
Black Knights, Black Dreams, Black Magic, Black Habits.
Disrespectful, bro. It's a Black History Month too, right?
Right,
These dudes are ready to celebrate St. Patrick's Day, dog. This is shame, man.
You know what? Last
Yo,
night-
the streets is dead, dog. man.
Last night was St.
Man,
Patrick's Day.
these dudes are so excited to end Black History Month. I just want to make a few quick points, dog. Yo, these dudes are wild, dog. The UK dudes, man, I don't know about y'all. Y'all are different. But I just want to
be
make
real, dog.
one last quick point, because there's a lot of things you said, and maybe we can get into it in the podcast.
Yeah, I don't know. We're gonna end this video though, because it's getting kind of long.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, we'll talk about it more.
I'll give you a chance to address
Nah, yeah,
everything
close
I say.
it,
You'll have
close
a
it.
chance to address everything I say. Though.
All right.
Go ahead.
No, well, just a lot of different things. I mean, you brought up a lot of stuff about Chisora or whatever. This is my thing about Wilder.
Wilder is the equal equivalent to Chisora. In fact,
Yeah,
I
that's-
picked Chisora to beat Deontay Wilder if they ever fought.
All right.
I'm not joking. Chisora's gonna knock him out.
Bro.
Everyone's knocking Wilder out from this point. Yo, he's never gonna be the same again. But go ahead. Go ahead.
Bro,
Go
that's
ahead.
it's so hard
Money
to
right now.
respond to that.
I'm taking bets right now. And if you're not shaking my hand, then
Tell
I don't
what?
want to hear
That
it.
what? What's
That
the bet?
Wilder will get knocked out again.
It's possible.
Okay.
But what's the point?
Thank you.
Yo, Joshua got knocked out. He could get knocked out again.
And
What are we talking about?
I'm not
Ali
saying-
got knocked
Yo,
out and he got knocked out
here's-
again.
Here's
That's
the point. Here's the
possible.
point.
What are we
though.
talking about?
Here's the point. I'm not the one here sitting talking like
You're
Joshua
s-
was invincible. I
you're
never
s-
did. In
nobody-
fact, hold on. In fact, before Joshua lost, you weren't here, but you may have watched the episode when we made our predictions and everyone was like, "Oh, it's going to be a wash." I was like, "Y'all are smoking dope." I was like, y'all are crazy. Ruiz is a real threat. Ruiz, don't be surprised if Ruiz win. I told everyone, and everyone thought I was crazy, right? So I never acted like Joshua was invincible. But Wilder acted like Wilder was. That's the problem.
Okay, my last point. Because one thing the people who hate Wilder love to say is, oh, his opposition was cherry picked. Wilder tried to fight Alexander Povetkin, because that's one of the people that Joshua fight and they give him credit for, right? Alexander
He
Povetkin,
tried, Joshua did.
because he fought for Pence. And this is what I love about Caden, because he's a great arbiter, so he's gonna make things fit his point. But when you look at the whole story, it starts to make sense, and his story starts to unravel. And he wants to just bring up points, but he won't tell you.
Fact
the whole
check
story.
me like CNN.
Let's fact check him. Let's fact check him right now. Wilder was in Russia to fight Povetkin, because Povetkin was the mandatory, right?
He was in
That's
Russia?
the thing. That's the thing. He was on his way to Russia or in Russia.
Okay, now
But
let's not fact
now,
check
hold on,
him.
yeah, it doesn't matter.
I could've
It's
sworn he was in
semantics.
Russia.
It doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
he was
But
in
at the point is, Wilder accepted the fight. He's the mandatory. Povetkin fought for Pence. How is that Wilder's fault? Wilder is a true champion. That's his mandatory. He's going to fight him. Fine. Then people want to bring up Bermane Stiverne the second time. Bermane Stiverne was supposed to fight Povetkin for an eliminator to fight Wilder. When Povetkin fought for Pence the second time, Stiverne became the mandatory, because Stiverne was in Russia ready to fight him. So this is
How
not
does
Wilder's
Stiverne
fault.
become the
Hold
mandatory
on.
when he's sitting on his couch?
Guys, let me finish my point.
No, yeah,
Stiverne, so now Stiverne's a mandatory. Wilder has to fight his mandatories. He fought him. Then what was his next fight? Tyson Fury, the last guy to beat Klitschko. The first guy to beat Klitschko in his reign, right? He's the one who fight him. That's a voluntary defense. He didn't have to fight Fury, but he fought him anyways. So in the fights that everybody's like, oh, he should have fought so-and-so, he fought Bermane Stiverne mandatory. Then he fought Fury, voluntary, right? Fury's better than anybody else that these guys mentioned, but he fought him. He tried to fight the rematch with Fury. Fury pushed it off. So he fought his next mandatory, Brazil. That's not Wilder's fault. He fought Brazil. After Brazil, what's his next fight? Luis Ortiz the second time. Why did he fight Luis Ortiz the second time? Because Dillian White blew his drug test when he was a mandatory. So his next voluntary defense is Luis Ortiz. Luis Ortiz, mind you, who Dillian White ducked from fighting. Dillian White had multiple opportunities. Luis Ortiz says, I'll go to the UK to fight you, and Dillian White didn't want to fight him. So, but somehow Wilder's supposed to choose Dillian White, who's ducking Luis Ortiz, because Luis Ortiz is an old man. That's his next voluntary defense. Then he fights Fury again. So where is it in this reign of fights that Wilder's supposed to fight? Outside of his mandatories, his voluntaries were Tyson Fury and Luis Ortiz. Who was he supposed to fight in that time?
Okay, so I'm really
Who was he supposed to fight?
Listen,
I'm asking you a question.
Yo, bro,
Who's he
I'm
supposed to
not
fight?
falling into your trap. I'm going to urge everybody to fact check that.
Please do.
Yo, just fact check that. But just know this.
I'll do the favor. I'll put the links in this video to articles, and you can do the same. I'll put links.
Yo,
in
I just want to point out this is the man. This is
yourself.
the man who sent me an article that said Fury versus Wilder is a $200 million fight, right? And then when I looked to read where this projection came from, because the article said that the fight is going to generate $200 million, right? And then when I looked to read where this and I got the article on my phone, it's hilarious. When I read it, where is these numbers coming from? The article was based on Bob Arum's projections that the fight was going to sell 2 million American pay-per-view buys. And I said to him, this is a joke. Why you send this to me? What was the point in this? This is irrelevant. Like, send this to me if the fight actually sold 2 million buys. He didn't even respond because he knows how garbage it was.
Because I know he's mad. I knew he was mad. I knew I loved it.
Once
too.
again,
I knew
you see how he can't argue with that. So I say that to say facts. Whatever links he send you, double check that. Now,
It was a Bloomberg article.
But once
and I'll check
again,
all
you
the facts.
send it as it was some type of information that was an
It's
indication
still
of
an
something,
article
and it was
that's talking
nothing.
about the numbers for the
It was
fight.
Bob Arum's projections.
Fine, but guess what?
It was
It's possible
pointless.
it could do 2 million.
It was possible to do too. See what I'm saying?
Bro,
Yo, I don't have
you
to say
don't know the
nothing.
sales,
He
I don't
embarrasses
know the
himself.
sales.
Like real talk.
You don't know the sales,
Yo,
I
he
don't know
should
the
be
sales.
waving that white flag. Yo, but anyway, right?
If you throw the flag, you're fired.
Anyway.
You better throw the flag.
Yo,
not throwing the flag.
so anyway, just to respond, you have to ask this question. Why is it that when Povetkin popped, Bermane Stiverne became the mandatory instead of a more active fighter? At that time, Bermane Stiverne was inactive. Fact. Look it up. Another fact, right? After he beat Bermane Stiverne and he's talking about like, oh, he had to fight Luis Ortiz and all that, whatever. Here's my thing. How did Tyson Fury get the fight? He's making it seem like, oh, Tyson Fury's good. Once again, I told you, he cherry-picked Fury. Fury had to lose weight, was inactive for 3 years. Ask yourself this question. Wilder seems very keen on fighting guys who was inactive. So I'll prove it to you. Bermane Stiverne was inactive for almost 2 years. That's not true?
It's a mandatory
That's not
defense.
true.
He doesn't get to choose it.
Was he inactive for almost 2 years, yes or no?
It was just short.
That's one, yes or
Yeah,
no?
we knew
Yes.
that.
He was
But it's a
inactive.
mandatory defense.
He was inactive for
It's a
almost-
mandatory. He
Yo,
didn't pick.
Yo, see
You're
what I'm saying?
cherry
I let him
picking.
talk.
You pick the fighter.
You see my proof?
But I'm fact checking you.
Boxing Bros order.
The proof is in the pudding, bro. Like I said, when I start cooking, they gotta interrupt the boy. You know what I'm saying? But fact check this. Bermane Stiverne, this is a fact. This is not a lie. Bermane Stiverne was inactive for almost 2 years when he became Wilder's mandatory. Right? Okay. It is relevant. It is relevant. Why are you fighting inactive people? How do inactive people become a mandatory, right?
Because he's supposed to fight an eliminator.
You see.
But I'm answering your question.
This is how you
don't
know.
wanna answer- You don't want to hear the truth.
It's not the truth. The truth is he was inactive for almost 2.5 years. That's the fact of the matter. You saying why he became the mandatory isn't true because you don't work for the WBC. You can't tell me any reason why he became the mandatory other than what, yo, bro.
It's in the
Fact, do
ESPN
you work?
articles.
Do you work for the WBC?
It's in the ESPN
Do
articles.
you work for the WBC? Yes or no?
Dog,
Do
this
you
is
decide
all
who's the
irrelevant.
mandatory?
It's
No,
all
everything you're
irrelevant,
saying
dog.
is irrelevant.
You're trying to make
Yo,
a
bro,
point.
this
It
is-
doesn't matter.
How about this? This video's old. You know it's about to be an hour, right?
Okay.
Can I just close it out?
No, because I gotta finish making my point.
This is Boxing Bros UK. Please like and subscribe.
I gotta make my point uninterrupted. Okay, uninterrupted. Yo, check this out. Right? Here's the facts, and I just want to state my facts. I didn't interrupt him, so please.
Yo, please come
Thank
first.
you.
Let him finish.
Thank you. Because when you're gonna get when you're gonna get fried. I just asked you. Tell me if I'm lying. Was Bermane Stiverne inactive for almost 2 years?
Facts.
Became Deontay Wilder's mandatory.
Facts.
Then he fought Tyson Fury. Right? Was Tyson Fury not inactive for 3 years?
That's facts.
And then he gave him a voluntary defense. Right?
Yeah, facts.
Okay, and then he fought, his mandatory became Dominique Brazil, right?
Mm-hmm.
Was Dominique Brazil not inactive for almost 2 years?
That's facts too.
So Deontay Wilder seems very keen on fighting guys who've been inactive. Cherry picking. All right, I'm done. Yo, listen.
All right, yo, everyone, please like, share, subscribe. This is Boxing Bros.
Facts.
Yo, definitely tune in to the podcast.
Yo,
Obviously,
it might
we
get
got our
ugly
cousin,
on the
the
podcast.
Complex Gentleman, It's about to get real greasy.
I came out to my UK cousins and
Wilder.
Hey, wait. Flowers for the dead.
Rest in sleep.
That's the boxing, bro.